welcome to the Enchanted Crochet Hat as part of the Magical Stitches series. This is so exciting for me because I love this stitch, so I'm excited to introduce you to this hat. This hat comes in quite a few different sizes, so the amount of yarn you will need will depend on the size that you are making. I made this hat in two different yarns just to test out two different yarns for this. The first one I did in Swish worsted weight, which I love Swish. I guess I made these 4 in Swish. It was fantastic to work with and their colorways are amazing. But then I also made this one here in the Maxim Mellowspun decode, and that worked great as well. It was just fun to try a different yarn. Today you will also maybe want a tape measure nearby in case you want to measure the brim or the height of your hat. You will also need a size H crochet hook as well as a size G 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle to weave in those ends, and then if you want a pom-pom, just for a little bit of an accessory on the top of the hat if you like pom-poms on the top of your hat. So let's go ahead and jump right in. To get started with this hat, we will be using the 4mm G hook, and I will be making the size baby on camera, and this is worked from bottom to top. So to get started, we will create a slip knot and place that onto our hook. And then for this size, we are going to chain 17. After chaining 17, we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain across. This will give us a total of 16 stitches for this size, and then we will turn. Now we will work in the back loop only for each stitch across. We can start with a chain one if you want on the end of each row, but it's not necessary. And then we will single crochet 16 stitches across in the back loop only. This is what we will do for a total of 60 rows for this size. So we're simply just single crocheting in the back loop only for 60 rows for this size. Now, once you have 60 rows, your band should measure approximately 13 inches wide and 3.5 inches tall and have a bit of stretch. And now it's time for us to join these edges together so that we can begin to work in the round. So we'll simply fold in our brim, and then we are going to loosely slip stitch down this row. So we're going to insert through the back loop only of our current row and grab a strand, a loop from the first row that we made, and then we will simply yarn over and slip stitch those together. So in the back loop only of our current row, through the loop of the very first row we did, and slip stitch together for all those stitches down this edge for this brim, and this will join it so then we can work in the round for the next steps. Now that we have our brim joined together, it's time to work around one edge of the brim in the round. So we are simply going to work around one edge, slip stitching 1 stitch per row all the way around. So you don't want to slip stitch too tightly, which is why sometimes I will change my hook size up at this point because I don't like to have tight slip stitches. Now here's where we're going to insert our hook per 1 stitch per row and slip stitch all the way around. So the stitch count will be for this size 60 slip stitches all the way around, and remember to mark your first slip stitch in the round just so you know where the beginning stitch of the round is and you can keep track of that. So go ahead and do 60 slip stitches all the way around one edge of this brim. Now that we have done our row slip stitches, we're going to work this round again, and we're going to do it in the back loop only. So we're going to be split single crocheting into each stitch around in the back loop only, marking the first stitch of the round. Now why I'm saying split single crochet here and you see it worked as a single crochet stitch is because we are going to be working these stitches in the split single crochet style so the next round is easier. When we yarn over and pull up a loop, you'll want to pull up that second loop a little bit higher than you normally do before finishing that stitch. That will create space on the front of your stitch where the V is so that you can easily work into this on the next round. So do that the entire way around for 60 stitches and come on back.